Lesley Nase, Possibilities Outside the Box. Possibilities Outside the Box. Lesley Nase.
When I was young, I imagined my world. But as I grew older, I no longer imagined my life as I wanted it to be, but I did what I thought I was supposed to do. As a young child, I was an explorer. I headed west in a covered wagon. I was an astronaut who went to the stars. I talked to the animals like Dr. Dolittle. As I got older, I discovered that I wanted more out of life. I wanted the life I imagined. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I was always curious. I wanted to know about the unexplained in this world. I studied fortune telling, tarot, oracle cards. I studied energy healing, meditation, and dowsing. As I said, I was so curious about everything. In fact, I found out that everything is connected. Everything is one. Possibilities are everywhere. It was a pivotal moment in my life when I attended a private meeting in Vermont where I met two shamans, Shamans, like medicine people, only shamans imagine the world. I heard my intuition say, pay attention. I felt the nudging, the whispering of my intuition. I felt the connection to these people. And I signed up for their course, Seeing with the Heart. What a thrill. I learned how to tap in to the invisible world. I learned how to communicate with spirit animals like wolf, bear, sea turtle. I learned how to travel to ancestors, guardian spirits, and to more. I learned the ancient shamanic healing techniques. Everything is connected. Everything is one. Possibilities happen. On a dive to Mexico. Before I went, I should say, I communicated with my spirit animal, sea turtle. I had learned in shamanism to say, show me what's possible. And at this moment, when I connected to sea turtle, I said, show yourself to me. And then I imagined what it would be like to meet a sea turtle face to face. In Mexico, while we were diving, down under the ocean, all of a sudden, there came sea turtle and swam up to me inches in front of my face. I was stunned. I held my breath. not a good idea when you're underwater. Everything is connected. Everything is one. Possibilities happen. I teach others how to tap into their own talents. I teach them how to use their intuition. I teach them how to use their imagination. I have a client who told me this story about how she was busy working. She ordered a pizza that was guaranteed to be there 20 minutes. She goes, I was hangry, but I kept working. I kept going. And then I realized that when the time was almost up, if I used my imagination as you taught me, perhaps I could get what I desired. So she closed her eyes, she puts her hands out, she felt the box, she smelled the melted cheese, and her mouth started to water. And she opened up her eyes, she opened the front door, the wind was blowing, the rain was coming down in buckets, and when she looked down at her feet, there was the pizza. Now I ask you, did she connect with the spirit of the pizzeria? Everything is connected. Everything is one. Possibility thinking. Over the years, I have definitely learned how to use my imagination to create my life, my world. In fact, I imagine standing right here on this stage with all of you. Everything is connected. Everything is one. Possibility outside the box. Possibilities outside the box. Curiosity, what if, and imagination. Contest chair.
Recording stopped. We will now have 1 minute of silence while our judges complete the forms.